Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Crimson here, or 12. Today's story is, judging by the title, I'm sure you could see it's a crazy one. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's kind of like multiple stories in one. So tell me what you think. It's definitely going to be a long one. I learned some valuable lessons here, so I hope you enjoy. Leave a like on the video if you do. Let's jump into it. So today's story is about the time I got sent to rehab. Yeah, I definitely recommend watching the whole story because it's not what you think. So today's story all starts off as a regular day in 2022. Now, 2022, I was doing YouTube at this time. My YouTube channel was doing relatively okay. I had quite a bit of views on the videos, but not a lot of subscribers. And I definitely had like thousands of views at this point, but they've kind of fallen off since I kind of took a break there. And it was kind of cool to have something to look forward to because, before YouTube, all I really had to do was just sit, play video games, and my friends, which obviously are cool. But when I got home from school, I was just miserable all day because I had to think about school the next day. And with YouTube, I got to come home and just think about YouTube, making videos, and stuff like that. So this was like any other day back in 2022. I got up pretty early to go to school, got through the school day. Honestly, nothing really happened at school. It was like just regular, nothing important. So when I got home, this is where the story really takes place. I got home from school that day. I jumped on my Xbox and I already had a video made for the day, so I was hoping I could just play some COD and not really do shit, right? And so I'm playing with my friends, playing Call of Duty, and I didn't realize this, but I had my phone on the bed behind me, and it kept ringing. It was on silent, so it was just vibrating, and I didn't feel it. I finally checked my phone about 20 minutes later. I looked, and I had 5 missed calls from a friend, Justin. I was like, huh, that's weird. Must be an emergency, so let me call him back. I call him back, and he goes straight to voicemail. I'm like, okay, that's really weird, I guess. So I'll just wait, and he calls me back, or I'll just wait till he calls me back. So I put my phone on my desk, and I go back to playing COD, and about 20 minutes later, while I'm playing Xbox, I hear a knock on my window right next to me. And that's pretty weird, because I don't get knocks on my window. Usually it's the front door. So I walk over to the window, and I peep the blinds, and I see none other than my friend Justin. And I don't want to sound mean here, but he did not look good. He looked very, like, distraught. His eyes were all red, and it looked like he had just been crying. He looked like he was having a panic attack. So I opened the window. I'm like, yo, dude, what's good? You good? And he's like, can I come in? I was like, yeah, dude, come in. And he crawls on my window, and he sits down in the chair right next to me. And I was like, yo, dude, what's going on? You look upset. And he's like, dude, I didn't know who else to turn to. I just got in a huge fight with my mom and my dad, and they were about to search my backpack. And I ran out the front door, and like I tried calling you a bunch of times, but then my phone died, and I was like, I'm sorry, dude, I didn't see those calls. I tried calling you back, but your phone was dead. He was like, it's all good, man. Like, I just didn't know who to turn to, so I'm here now. And I was like, all right, so let's back up a bit. You said you got in an argument with your parents. He's like, yeah. I was asking, like, what happened, man? Like, why are you guys arguing? And he's like, when I got home, they were upset because my grades are slipping. They smelled weed on me, so they wanted to search my bag. And I was like, dude, I couldn't let them search my bag. And I was like, why? Did you have weed in there? And he's like, yeah, dude. And something else. I was like, what does that mean? And he proceeds to unzip his bag. And in his backpack, he has with him, he shows me what's in his bag. He had weed and a pipe for the weed. He also had something else I hadn't seen before from Justin. He had an unmarked bottle of some pills. I didn't know what they were. They were probably just painkillers, but I saw this and I was like, Justin, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, dude, I swear, like, I'm not a drug addict or anything. I just got them for a homie like 2 days ago. I haven't tried them yet. I just had them in my backpack. I was like, dude, do you mean you haven't tried them yet? Like, do you know what they could be, what they are? Like, they could be cut with some shit. Because even back then, like, they were cutting shit in 2022 and lace stuff. I was like, serious. Like, So obviously, I didn't want my homie doing that. Plus, we were just young, so like way too young to be doing that kind of stuff. Now, after I said this to him, he didn't really want to hear it. He was like, "Hey, dude, I appreciate it, but I can handle myself. I'm good. Don't worry about me." I was like, "All right, man, just give it some thought." I said, like, seriously, I don't want to see you OD, or get hurt. He's like, "I appreciate you." And he asked me, he's like, "Is your mom home?" I was like, "No, no. No one's home right now. Yeah, it's like just me here. My mom's gonna be home soon." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, my bad about knocking on your window, dude. I just don't want your mom to hear me or anything or see it was me." It's like, "All good, man. No worries. No one's home, so you're all good." He asked, "Well, can I ask a favor, dude? That's why I'm here. I really just need a favor." I was like, "What is it?" And he goes and says, "Can you hold on to the stuff for me? Like everything I have in the backpack." I was like, "Dude, I could hold on to the weed, but the pills, I don't think so. I can do it. Like, I don't think I can do it." He's like, "Bro, all I need you to do is hang on these for like a day. No more than a day, bro. I promise. But when I get home tonight, my parents are going to search me, and I like need to make sure I don't have anything on me." That's why I ran in the first place, because just sitting there frustrated, because I really did not want to do this and hold the pills. But the weed, it wasn't that bad. But it was a bunch of pills. And I was like, "Dude, I don't want to hold on to this shit." And let me just say, if this happened today, if one of my homies was like, "Yo, could you hold on to these?" I'd be like, "Fuck no. Go throw them away." Or something. Because, like, I'm not doing anything, but just given how, like, stupid young I was back then, I was just like, "Dude, you know, what? Fine." But dude, Justin, don't ask me to do anything like this ever again, because I cannot do this ever again. He's like, "Don't worry, bro, I got you." So he hands me these pills and the weed, and before he leaves, I'm like, "Can I just ask what these pills are, dude, and like what they are?" He's like, "They're Xanax," and they did not look like Xanax. They looked like something else, but I was like, whatever. So I turned around, I opened my closet door, and I find this old little piggy bank that I had as a child. I opened it up, and I put the stuff in the piggy bank. I plugged it back up, and I put it back in to the closet where it was for the last 4 years untouched. I really thought this was a great hiding spot all of, like, all the time, because, like I said, no one had touched it in years. My mom put it in there probably, like, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, and it hadn't been touched in like 4 years because I used to use it, but it had been, or I'd been using it since I was that little. But basically, I thought I was in the clear. Nobody would suspect a thing, right? Me hiding stuff, and there would be. So fast forward, like, so it's fine. Fast forward to later that night, my mom got home from work, and my brothers got home, and stuff like that. And it was time for dinner. I went out to the kitchen. I had dinner with my family like any other night. Just kind of had a normal night, right? And then I go to bed. After that, I went to sleep pretty early. I was pretty tired from the night before. And I went to sleep probably about 9 p.m. And now it's the next day. I wake up about 6 in the morning, and it's time for school. Everything is going smoothly. No one knows about the stuff in my closet. I'm good, right? So I get ready for school. I get on the bus. I go to school. The first person's locker I go up to is Justin's. I go up to Justin's locker. I wait for him until he gets there. He walks up. He daps me up and is like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "Not much, dude. How'd it go with your parents last night when you got home?" And he tells me what happened. So I guess later when Justin got home, that day before, his parents kept asking him why he ran away. When they asked to search him, he just kept kind of denying, and they definitely had a feeling that he probably ran somewhere outside of the house and dumped all the stuff in his backpack out. But you know, they couldn't prove it, so they let him go. They grounded him obviously because he disobeyed and he couldn't. They couldn't prove anything that he had. So he planned out like when he was gonna get the stuff from me. He's like, dude, I don't. Or I was like, dude, I don't want your stuff anymore. He's coming over today to get it. It's like, don't worry, I'm coming. I'll keep my promise. I'll be there today. I'll come right after school. Both my parents are working late, so I'll probably just sneak out, get on my bike, and I'll ride over there. I was like, all right, man. So I thought at this point I was pretty much in the clear, right? I thought that I would get home from school later that day, and he would ride his bike over and grab the stuff, leave. I could be free of his shit, right? Well, little did I know, I had the worst surprise waiting for me when I got home from school. That day was so, like, quick. So, fast forward to the end of the day of school. I'm walking out of school with Justin, and I look over at him, and I was like, yo, what time do you think you're going to get there? And he's like, probably around 3, if that's cool. And I was like, yeah, that works. So we dab each other up, and we both get on our separate school buses. I put my headphones in, and about 20 minutes later, my bus departs from the school. Within 25 minutes, the bus finally got to my house and dropped me off. At my house, I started walking up my driveway, and I was just excited inside. Play some COD, maybe work on a YouTube video, get my friend back his stuff at 3, and never have to worry about that again. Just have a chill, relaxing day. Well, I walk into my house, and I see my mom, my dad, and my brother all at the table. Like a straight intervention, bro. They're sitting there in a circle, and there's no food at the table, so they're not even eating together. Both my mom and my dad were supposed to be at work at this time. My brothers, they weren't supposed to be home either. One of them was supposed to be at like this after school program thing. My other brothers, they were supposed to be working, so I got really confused. Everybody was like sitting around the table looking so concerned when I walked in. So I just said, hey, what's up? What's going on? And my mom just holds up the pill bottle that Justin gave me the day before. And she starts crying. And my heart in my chest just immediately sinks. Because I knew how fucked I was. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, it's really not mine. I swear, it's not mine. My dad goes, don't give me that excuse. Like, come on. Really, that's what you're going to say? I was like, no, you really don't understand. It's really not mine. Like, it's a friend's. I'm literally holding on to it for a day. I got it yesterday. I'm giving it back to him today. And the more and more I said it, the more and more they looked like I was lying to them. And it sucked because I really had the truth. And they thought I was just lying and I was seriously addicted to pills. And just, like, lying to all of them. Mom goes, we already called a facility nearby. It's a rehab center for teenagers and young adults. You'll be going there today. And I was like, what? You're going to send me to fucking rehab for a drug I don't do? Even, like, more trying to defend myself, and they didn't believe me. And they just looked so disappointed. It was, like, truly the worst situation I've ever been in, because the more and more I told the truth, the more and more they just didn't believe me, and it really sucked, because I was telling the truth. So after my mom said, like, I'm going to rehab, I'll be there for 2 to 3 weeks, and then we can assess and see when you're coming home, I was like, you don't understand. I don't want to do whatever drug that is. You can drug test me right now. The only thing you're going to see is nothing, because I don't do anything. And I'm being honest. My dad was like, yeah, we thought about that, but, some pills don't stay in your system for very long, so probably won't show anything anyways. I was like, okay, well, you should at least try. See, because, like, I'm telling the truth, and if everything comes back negative, we're still worried about you, and we want you to get the help. In this case, I was like, you're sending me to rehab on a feeling that I might be addicted to something, not that you know. So I walked out of the kitchen, went to my room, they followed me, and I started packing a bag. My parents thought I was packing for rehab, but I was secretly just packing, jump out the window, and run away. So that's what I did. I packed my bag, I walked over to the window, I started opening. My mom's like, what are you doing? And before she could react or do anything to stop me, I jumped out of the window. And I just took off running down the street. For about a mile and a half, I was at this, like, abandoned playground. Like, it was overgrown, nobody used it anymore. And I immediately called up Justin, and he answers. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm about to come over to your house. And I was like, don't. My parents found it. They think I'm addicted to pills, and now they're sending me to rehab. I ran away. I'm at this playground calling you. He's like, dude, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, no, dude, I'm being dead serious. So don't go to my house right now because I don't want you to get swept up in this. And he's like, dude, what are you talking about? It's my fault. I'm so fucking sorry. I was like, no, you're dude. I honestly knew the risk when I took the pills from you. And I thought my spot was amazing. I thought I wouldn't get caught. I don't know how she found it. But, bro, she found it, and now I'm gonna pay the price. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know you would get in trouble as bad as I would. I thought they would never find it. And basically, I'm like, it's fine, dude. I know you're just thinking of, like, someone to have help you. And he's like, come to your house and explain. He's like, I'll just come to your house and explain. And I was like, no, because then they're not going to believe me. Two reasons. I just didn't want to tell on him and get him in trouble because his dad used to beat him, and I was scared of that, in my opinion. Because, like, I didn't want to see my friend Justin hurt. And if it told his parents, Justin, his dad would hurt him still. And I was scared, even if my parents told him. And I didn't like that or see that happen. So early on in the story, when I told my parents it was somebody else's, if they asked who it was, I wouldn't have been able to say Justin. I probably would have made up some fake name. And so I talked to Justin on the phone for like 5-10 minutes, and he told me, like, he wished me luck. I'm sitting there on a playground. I'm sad, man. Like, I'm sitting on an abandoned playground, like, overnight's worth of clothes. My phone is about to die because I did not have a charger, so it's just dying. I had nowhere to go, so I'm like, I'll just walk home. I'll go to rehab, guess for a drug I'm not even addicted to. So I set off on a 1.5 mile walk back home, and halfway through, tell me why I hear police sirens, and I turn around and I see a cop car pulling up on the side of the street next to me, and the cop rolls down in the window and he goes, Isaac, and I was like, yep, that's me. He's like, get in the car. Your parents want you home right now. And I was like, they called the cops on me? I was like, I was just on my way home. I can't walk home and enjoy the peace and quiet. And the cop's like, no, they want you home now. And so the cop made me get in the car. And he drove me home. And as soon as I got home, my mom didn't give me a single choice. She grabbed my arm instantly and pulled me inside her car and just drove me. And at the rehab center, it was basically like weird because it had fluorescent lights. It was like school. Like I was gonna sleep over there, but my mom checked me in, and one of the employees, I think she might have been a nurse or a doctor or something, started asking me a bunch of questions like about my drug use. And every time I said no, they kept rolling their eyes. Like even the nurse didn't believe me, and they gave me a drug test. And like I was happy to get the drug test, and it came back with no pills in my system. So I remember looking at my mom and being like, wow, how surprising. And the lady at the facility was like, doesn't mean you haven't used those drugs before. We're just seeing if you used them recently. I was like, yeah, well, I haven't used them ever. So there's the truth. And it both looked like they still didn't believe me. So after this, my mom said goodbye. And I said goodbye. I was very angry. So it wasn't a nice goodbye. But one of the employees came out, gave me a tour of the center I'd be staying at. And I can't lie, it was a pretty nice facility. It kind of felt like a school a little bit, but it was decorated. It was pretty nice. And if I had addiction, I'd want to stay here. So immediately they put me in a detox, which is where they just let you get the drugs out of your system. Now I was sitting for an hour in this room, right? Hour, the employee comes in and goes, yeah, here, how are you doing? I was like, good. There's nothing to detox. I don't have drugs in my system. And he goes, well, okay, you could come with me. You're actually leaving. And I was like, what kind of rehab is this? I've only been in here for like an hour. And he's like, no, 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 no. Your parents are here to pick you up. You're being discharged. And I was like, why? Like, I just got here. And he escorts me back to the little room I go into. I change into my regular clothes. because they had me in these like plain clothes, and I change and I walk out and I see my dad, my mom, and I see Justin standing there with the biggest smile. And I knew immediately what happened. This dude, Justin, stepped up, told him the truth. And so my parents checked me out. And I look over at Justin in the car and I was like, dude, what did you do? He's like, I rode my bike over. I told them the truth. I showed them all the missed calls from yesterday, me trying to contact you and help me. I even showed them text messages of me buying those pills, and they would believe me that they were mine. And you probably wouldn't believe me. They knew. So I got you out of there, and my mom's like, okay, so I'm just about to text his parents. I was like, no, 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 don't tell his parents. And she's like, what are you talking about? They're like pills, they're serious. And I'm like, don't let, or don't tell his parents, like, let him handle this, because I really don't want to see my friend get hit by his dad. That just made me angry to think about. And basically, he's like, I promise I'll tell my parents. And he threw him in the garbage. A few months later, his parents actually split up. He was able to move in with his mom and not live with his dad anymore. His dad was very abusive, I'd say, in the end. So Justin got a pretty happy ending. I'm proud to report that Justin's still killing it. I'm still friends with him this day. He's doing really good. He has like a girlfriend. He got a job recently, and he's doing good at it. Um, he's just happy. But shout out to Justin if you're watching this. But yeah, it was a pretty quick car ride home. We got back to my house. Justin got on his bike and went back. We said goodbye, and I might have been in that rehab facility for a month if Justin didn't stick up for me. But yeah. Um, More of the story though, don't do drugs. Make sure like you don't do what I did in the story because it was really dumb. But if you liked the video, please subscribe and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. And see you guys later. Peace. Have a great day, y'all.